Yeah, so we're gonna be getting into your upcoming album, your new song slash music video for Woozy. But before all that, here at Bionic Buzz, we're all about people's passion. I want to know where your passion for music kind of came from, led you on this amazing musical journey. Was certain album or certain live performance or something that was natural for you as a child?
Oh, I mean, I wouldn't say it was necessarily natural. I got into like poetry in school, and like reading Tupac's "The Rose of the Groove from Concrete" book, kind of like sparked that. Like we had a whole semester that talked about that book,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, singing was just kind of like it's kind of a thing that just happened. My dad makes really silly voices. Like he does like cartoon voices really well, like impersonations, right? So it's something I
Really?
guess I picked up from him. And so I mean, I guess in that sense it kind of came naturally, but like I've never really like looked at it like that necessarily until I think like fourth grade. Like I had a choir class thing, and I was like, hey, I'm all right at this. I can just keep doing this. So I'd sing like Backstreet Boys in sixth grade in my bathroom, and like all sorts of pop songs. And then I got into like Blink 182, which I think was really the band that was like, I want to be in a band. I want to be in a rock band. These guys look fun, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was and then from there it was like, all right, I gotta figure out an instrument. I gotta figure out how to play something. So I think I started with saxophone for like 3 months.
Oh yeah.
I did marching drum, marching snare, which was I was terrible at both those things, but it was like fun. I got into playing bass. So bass was kind of my first instrument aside from like just singing and stuff like that, and then eventually got into guitar and piano and stuff.
Very cool. You never thought about doing like a ska song and bust out the saxophone or anything?
Dude, I mean, covering like Less Than Jake back in the day. Oh my god,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was the funnest. Yeah, it's like I had that and like, what is it? The Johnny Quest thinks we're sellouts. Woo!
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that
I'm
was big.
curious because you grew up in Seattle, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
I mean, my passion started when I saw "Smells Like Teen Spirit" when I was 11. I mean, were you ever into any like the grunge scene at all from the Seattle scene? You know?
Yeah, like growing up, like it was very eclectic for me. Like
Yeah.
my dad was super into disco, my mom's super into alternative, and
Mhm.
so like I grew up with like some neighbors that like one of the kids was like 2 years older than me, and then his stepsister was like 3 years older than him. So she
Mhm.
was like introducing us to like Nirvana and No Doubt, and Soundgarden, and all this stuff that was playing on MTV like back in the early '90s. So that's a lot of where musical influence came from. It was kind of from like the neighbors and around the neighborhood and stuff like that.
It's cool. Well, it definitely shows in your band because you definitely have a lot of different musical genres kind of combining, which is cool. I
Yeah, I feel like it's a good excuse, good use of my ADHD, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. Well, cool. Well, let's get into your new song, Woozy. I always like hearing the stories about how songs get put together, inspiration, and anything like that, because it's something, a skill I wish I had myself, you know? So, how was putting together Woozy?
So Nicholas and I were in LA. We had
Mm.
worked with a couple of composers named Mark Jackson and Ian Scott, and at that point we had worked on a couple of songs, a song that's yet to come out, and the song "Hangout."
Okay.
And so Woozy was kind of third in the chain, which was really cool. And I remember Ian had the topic, which was just Woozy, and we thought it was hilarious, and just like the potential of what it could be. And it's like, oh, okay, well, this definitely sounds like it could be something that's a little messed up or whatever, having a fun night. And yeah, so it just kind of, I think we like I think we played with like a guitar thing. I think the guitar lick was lined up, and then I started kind of like mumbling some like harmonies and stuff like that. But I remember we took it home and then really just kind of dove into like, what is this character going through? And so like some of it was like just thinking about like, oh, like over exaggerating like personal experiences and stuff, and then like just this silly like, this guy likes to get messed up and beat up and he likes it, you know. Like, let's just make it fun. So yeah, it was more of like, let's put together something funny and entertaining for ourselves, you know what I mean? Like rather than like, oh, I gotta make something
Yeah,
serious.
and I feel like you showcased that in the music video too. So,
Yeah.
who was your friend that had to wear the emoji
So
on?
in all the scenes except for the ones where I'm performing, that's basically just me.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. So Yeah, I did my best. But yeah, and then the ones where he's in the scene with me, that was
Yeah, like in
our
the
former
alleyway.
drummer.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was our former drummer, Damien. So
Oh, cool. Did you guys
yeah,
shoot that? Where'd you guys shoot that at?
we shot it all throughout like Seattle. So there's some
Okay.
shots in like Pioneer Square, a lot in like South Lake Union area. So yeah, it was pretty fun.
It was great. It's fun music video. I mean, it's a fun song. It goes along well, perfectly.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah, we weren't too concerned because there was like neighbors that like looked out their window, and at first we were like, oh man, maybe we should be quiet. It's like 10 o'clock at night, and then we just hear them like clapping and cheering. I'm like, oh cool, you like it. That's rad. Sweet, thanks. It was pretty funny.
That's awesome. Well, this song's coming from your upcoming album, Get Weird, which comes out September 1st. You did mention the track Hang Out, which is going to be the first song on the album. I guess what could you tease about that song?
It's just a fun one. It's a fun like, we're buddies, let's hang out and take over the world, or figure out the cosmos, or whatever.
Yeah.
I just sit on the couch.
Nice. So is the whole album just like a fun vibe, basically, or?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, like it's really a collection of songs that we started writing. I want to say the oldest song on there is Higher, and that one was written towards the end of like 2015.
Oh wow.
And, yeah, and the newer songs, Get Weird, which is the title track, and like Bad Habit, another song called Burn. Those were written towards the like mid part of like 2021. So it kind of spans like a good 6 years of music, you know.
Well,
So
I still love the art form of an actual album. I mean, so many people just release singles now, but it's like you never know what song's gonna hit, or maybe me, I love track 6, but everyone else loves all the other tracks, but that song just gets to me emotion wise. So I mean, why was it important to make an actual album instead of just releasing a bunch of singles over the years?
well, I mean, that's been kind of the case just because, you know, like we're trying to build this thing up. We're fairly new, and then you have a pandemic, so it makes us super new. But yeah, I mean, it's just we just want to get this music out. We have so much more to come and more to release and stuff. So I mean, we've had, like I said, a few years to kind of sit on some of these songs, and yeah, like just showing really kind of the whole spectrum of what we are and what we represent, and yeah, like there's fun vibes, there's melancholy vibes, there's angry vibes, or aggressive vibes, I guess.
That's all I love, man. Very cool. We're having an album release party September 1st in Seattle. I believe you're working on some more tour dates, hopefully the end of this year and into next year. So great. Well, everyone, check it out. Woozy in the meantime, and I'm gonna have all your social media links down below, and hopefully I'll catch you on tour at some point end of this year or next year, my friend.
Yeah, that'd be dope. It'd be great to see you.